This is VSiN Daily Morning Bets. Here is your host, Josh Appelbaum.
Hello and welcome to VSiN Daily Morning Bets, a quick 15-minute podcast highlighting the top games and biggest line moves that bettors need to know about each day. Today is Thursday, March 30th.
Game of the night.
For the game of the night, we're going to look toward a college basketball game, a big one, a championship game. No, it's not March Madness, but it is a game that we can get down on. The last game of the NIT, it's the NIT championship game tonight, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 between UAB and North Texas. Currently, UAB is listed as a 2-point neutral site favorite with a total of 128. Now, this NIT championship game will be played in the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, so you might as well stop by the South Point or Circa, place a bet, go get tickets to the game. They're probably not that expensive. Hopefully cash your bet afterwards. Looking for this game, guys, we have UAB 29-9. They just outlasted Utah Valley 88-86 in overtime in the NIT semifinals, but did not cover as a 4.5-point favorite. Meanwhile, North Texas 30-7. They just came from behind to win a huge game against Wisconsin. Trailed big in that one, 56-54, pulled out the win in the second half, covering as 1.5-point favorites. Remember, that was the game with the incredibly low total of 115 that actually stayed under the total magically. It was 70 points first half, just 40 in the second half. Wisconsin didn't score a single point in the last 9 minutes. Sorry to bring that up if you had the over there. If you had the under, you probably never want to stop hearing about that one. But anyway, this line opened with UAB listed as a very short 2-point neutral site favorite. Now, the public is all over UAB. Star player Jordan Walker. They've been a really fascinating team here. Good offense. Really kind of a public play here toward UAB, a public bias toward North Texas. So using our VSiN.com bet splits, currently 70% of bets are taking UAB here. They're saying, hey, give me UAB, give me the better offensive team with the star player, laying a short number. However, despite 7 out of 10 bets here backing UAB, the line really hasn't moved at all. It opened -2 UAB. There were some -1.5s up to -2, but it was mostly -2 openers that have stayed -2. So that really is a head scratcher because if you're getting 70% of bets or more, very lopsided public play or public support, typically you're going to see that line go from -2 up to -2.5, -3. You're going to see an adjustment by the books saying, hey, we have such an overload here on the popular play UAB. Let's adjust this line, mitigate some risk, entice some betting there on North Texas. But you'll hear this all the time. The books always want 50-50 action. That way they can rake in the juice. That's actually not true. If you actually talk to a bookmaker, they'll tell you that they're okay with lopsided action as long as they feel like they're on the sharp side. So looks like the books are taking a position here on North Texas. This is what I would call a sharp line freeze. Despite heavy betting UAB, the line really is not moving at all off that -2. So that tells me that the books are more concerned about the contrarian North Texas bettors than they are with the public bettors here on UAB. Now, North Texas, right off the bat, has that great contrarian opportunity here in a heavily bet primetime game, 9:30 p.m., in which, again, you're getting heavy betting 70% UAB. So just from a bet against the public standpoint, it's a thirsty Thursday. You walk into a bar anywhere across America tonight, majority of the people at the bar are going to be rooting for UAB. So just from a contrarian standpoint, North Texas has value. Of course, we have that indication of respected money with the line freeze on North Texas, despite the fact heavy betting UAB, the line hasn't moved at all. But here's where it gets good if you like North Texas. And I'm taking the points here with North Texas +2. But this is where it gets good. KenPom, the number one projection guy for analytics when it comes to college basketball, he actually has North Texas winning the game by 1 point, 69-68. So that would qualify as a woo-woo. KenPom, sound the alarm. That's when KenPom has a team winning, yet in the market they're getting points as a dog. So further evidence there for value here on North Texas. He also has North Texas ranked higher, 33 in the country versus 45 for UAB. Now, if you look at offensively, UAB is the better team here. They have the better offense. They're averaging roughly 80 points a game with, I think, around 64, 65 for North Texas. But the big difference here is defensively. North Texas is only giving up 56 points a game on defense, whereas UAB is giving up 70 points a game. So it's a big contrast in styles with UAB, the better offensive team, but North Texas, the much better defensive team. And North Texas does rank 18th in the country in adjusted defense. Another interesting factor here is the fact that this is actually a conference matchup. Typically, you wouldn't see two teams in the same conference meet up here, but both these teams are from Conference USA, so there's a lot of familiarity here. North Texas is actually 2-1 head-to-head against UAB this season. They won the first two matchups, 63-52 and 82-79, but they did lose in the conference tournament semifinals, 75-69. So, again, 2-1 so far, with North Texas winning 2 of the 3 matchups. But the whole point being, when you have a conference, 2 teams in the same conference matching up, it's kind of like NFL divisional dogs or MLB divisional dogs, that built-in familiarity, knowing your opponent quite well, it levels the playing field, benefits the team getting points. So I always look toward conference dogs as I do divisional dogs like in the NFL. The total is interesting as well. It opened at 128. I am seeing some books creep down to 127.5. So that's notable because 77% of bets are taking the over, expecting a high-scoring game here. Yet the line stayed the same, or it is even creeping down 128 down to 127.5 at some shops. Tells me some respect to money here on this under. Also, North Texas, they have great defensive team, but also the slowest team in all of college basketball. They're number 1, the slowest in all of college hoops, with a tempo of only 59.2 possessions per game. So they really bog it down, keep it low scoring, keep it a tight game here. And you have seen unders historically in neutral courts do well with unfamiliar sight lines. You also have last game in a big tournament, so maybe tired legs come to play here. And we have seen unders 19-9, 68% in the NIT this postseason here. So a little bit of lean to the under, but I'm looking toward North Texas getting 2 here. A Ken Palm sound the alarm, a sharp line freeze, a big contrarian play. Looking toward the mean green in the NIT championship game tonight, 9:30 p.m. on ESPN2.
Best of the rest.
For the best of the rest, we're going to the NBA slate now. It's a small slate, only 2 games here, but we have one huge matchup. The Celtics and the Bucks, 7:30 p.m. tonight on TNT. Currently, Milwaukee is listed as a 3-point home favorite with a total of 236. Now, this is a battle for the 1 seed. It's unlikely Boston catches Milwaukee here. There's only a few games left in the season, and they're 3 games back. Celtics 52-24. They just had their 3-game win streak snapped. Had a really bad loss their last time out. They lost 130-111 to the Wizards. They were an 11-point favorite in that matchup, and Washington had no Kuzma and no Beal, and the Celtics still lost. So Celtics looking to bounce back after a bad game. Milwaukee, by the way, 55-21. The 1 seed. They've won 2 straight, and they just absolutely demolished. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. They only won by 13. They actually pushed as a 13-point favorite. But they beat Indiana last night, 149-136. So if you had the over there, you didn't have to sweat that one at all. Looking across the market, looks like a little bit of respected money leading Boston in this matchup. This game opened, Milwaukee Bucks listed as a 3.5-point home favorite. And we've seen the Bucks now fall to -3. So why is that notable? Because the public is split 50-50. They don't really know where to go here. It's like, on the one hand, how do you not take Boston getting 3 points? But on the other hand, it's like the Bucks have been so good down the stretch. How do you not lay a short number against Milwaukee playing great right now? So anytime I see a 50-50 bet split, to me, in a vacuum, a line really shouldn't move at all if the tickets are even. But we know that not all tickets are created equally. You have some, dime bettors, big bets. You have $5 average Joe bets. So 50-50 bet split, yet a line moves. That's kind of a read between the lines indication of some respected money because, again, a line really shouldn't move at all if the tickets are even. So the fact that it's 50-50, yet the line fell to Boston, plus 3.5 down to +3, tells me a little bit of respected money here, taking the points with the Celtics. And the angle here, if you like Boston, is a rest versus tired. The Milwaukee Bucks obviously had to play last night, so on the second leg of a back-to-back. They're playing their 3rd game in 4 days. And the Celtics have had a couple days off here. They're only playing their 2nd game in 4 days. So, how did the teams handle this? As always, NBA, it's so frustrating because you got to wait on confirmation on whether guys will be in or out. So, we don't really know anything yet, but, does Giannis play tonight? Does Giannis rest tonight? That's the thing you got to keep an eye out for. Also, one really fascinating thing here to watch out for. Who's sweating the MVP? It's an epic race here in the MVP. And there was news that came out last night that Tim Bontemps, who has the NBA straw poll, which is very influential when it comes to the MVP odds here, because Tim Bontemps does a straw poll of all the media and the writers, and we actually see big shifts based upon these straw polls. So right now, Jokic is plus 115 as the favorite, Embiid is plus 125, and Giannis, look out for Giannis, he's plus 350 here. So based on this straw poll, you might see a big shift in those odds. Personally, I'm on Jokic, multiple numbers here, so I'm rooting for the Joker. but I actually tweeted about it last night. Who would you take here with just a week left? And a lot of people were saying, hey, values on Giannis at plus 350. Also for this total, guys, open at 236.5. Some shops have fallen to 236. Now it's juiced back up, like it may go back to 236.5. So it's a very high total, but we have seen in 2 games, these two teams have split 2 games. And we've had very high totals. Both went over 131 to 125 and 139 to 118. Offensively, Milwaukee is number 11. Boston is number 3. But they're also both top 5 in adjusted defense here. Milwaukee is 23-14 to the over at home. Boston is 23-15-1 to the under on the road. So keep an eye out for how the Bucks handle this back-to-back, whether Giannis plays or not. If he doesn't, this thing's definitely going to fall. Celtics, you expect them to play most of their guys here. But again, a little bit of movement toward Boston on a big matchup here on TNT between 2 of the teams battling for the 1 seed, Celtics and Bucks. Maybe a preview of a big playoff matchup, maybe the Eastern Conference Finals. We shall see. Between the Bucks and the Celtics tonight, 7:30 on TNT. The return of Major League Baseball is the best time of year to become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Get access to hourly pro tips, best bets from VSiN experts, daily articles, power rankings, and expanded digital content and tools to help you become a better. Just go to vsin.com/subscribe for more information.
Josh's Sweats.
All right, for Josh's Sweats here tonight, guys, I gave away one of them. I'm officially on the North Texas Mean Green, baby. Give me the North Texas Mean Green +2. I'll take the points in this one. Gave the breakdown earlier, but I love the fact that North Texas is contrarian in a heavily bet game. I love that we have an indication of smart money here with the line freeze, heavy betting UAB, but the line won't move at all. And to make it even better, Ken Pom, has North Texas winning the game by 1 point. So I'm going to take the +2 there. Let's go Mean Green. And oh, by the way, it's opening day. Major League Baseball is back, so I got a couple Major League Baseball plays for you. I would recommend tuning in later to the Market Insights pod because we got a lot of games here. I'll give you some updates. Looking at a couple early games, though, that caught my eye. Or they're later in the day, but they're really the games that I've seen the most movement so far. First one for me, I'm going to take a shot on the Minnesota Twinkies today. It's a 4:10 p.m. game. Minnesota is at Kansas City. We have Pablo Lopez on the bump for Minnesota, who was acquired in a trade with Miami. He went 10-10 with a 3.75 ERA last year. He'll be facing 39-year-old ageless wonder Zach Greinke, 4-9, 3.68 last year. But to me, this is kind of just a pure line movement play. This game opened Minnesota at -145. Now Minnesota is up to -155. So we've seen about a 10-cent steam move here in favor of Minnesota. And that's notable to me because if you look at the money lines on most of these games today, they really haven't moved too much. There's not a lot of line movement to speak of. So this is actually the biggest steam move based on the opener to the current number of really any game on the board here. So I'll back Minnesota with this smart money. They're getting around 60% of bets, but almost 70% of the money. Also, Kansas City has or Minnesota, I should say, based on their win total, is projected to be the better team this year. Obviously, anything can happen in a one game here, but Minnesota's win total is 84.5, and Kansas City's win total is 68.5. So Minnesota should be the better team. They have a 10-cent steam move in their favor, and Lopez, acquired from Miami, is a guy that I think a lot of analytics are very high on here this season. So I'll go Minnesota -155, put my faith in this steam move here. And then also keep an eye on the total. You missed the good number here, but it opened at 8.5. Now it's up to 9. It's juiced up 9 under -120. It may come back down to 8.5. But what really caught my eye here is a weather-based play. The wind is blowing out 15 to 20 miles per hour at Kansas City Kauffman Stadium, and it's going to be about 70 degrees. So it's actually a very nice day with the wind blowing out. Anytime you see wind blowing out, it's always the best friend of an over because, of course, when you see wind blowing out, it could push a warning track fly ball into a first-row home run. So we have seen to that over tick up 8.5 to 9. But again, with baseball, it lands on 9, you push a 9, you wanted the 8.5. So those half runs are critical. But a really good bet split to the over too. Only 36% of bets, but 56% of the money is on that over. So lean over to me, only if you could wait out and get the 8.5. But I'm going to take a shot on Minnesota at -155. And then lastly, one more for you. Final game of the night, Cleveland and Seattle. Good matchup here between the Beebs and Luis Castillo. But I'm going to take a shot on this over. Give me the over here. It's the most juiced up over of the day. It opened at 6.5. around over -115, -120. Now it's 6.5 over -125. And I do see one book that actually might be creeping up to 7. So the other thing you notice with these totals in baseball, if you wait too long, the 6.5 could be gone. It could be 7 before you know it. But this is the most juiced up total where the books, again, are showing a lot of liability here on this over. And I'm really going to put faith into two things. One, Seattle, roof is expected to be opened. It used to be called Safeco. What's it called now? Verizon, maybe. I'll get in trouble if I get the name wrong. Let me double check. They should have just kept it Safeco. What's it called now? T-Mobile. I know it was one of those cell phone stadiums. But anyway, the roof is open, 50 degrees, and it's 10-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to dead center. So the other angle here, aside from the wind and the juice liability, are these new rules in Major League Baseball. I think you're going to have a much more exciting game here with what these rule changes have put into place here. Number one, the biggest thing is a benefit to the offense in terms of banning the shift. No longer can you have 3 guys on the right side playing a lefty pull hitter. You have to have 2 guys on both sides of second base. So we've seen across spring training that hits are way up. Balls are finding gaps. You're getting more guys on base. You're also seeing more players stealing bases because the bases are 3 inches bigger around basically to increase or entice more steals. And then also, again, the pitch clock. If you screw up the pitch clock, you get a balk, you get a ball. You're seeing more base runners here. So offense is up. This is a juiced up over 6.5, and we do have wind blowing out. So I'm going to see if we lean on some overs here early. Give me the Cleveland-Seattle over 6.5, along with the Minnesota Twins on the money line there at -155. That about does it for today's VSiN Daily Morning Bets podcast on Thursday, March 30th. But a reminder, it's opening day MLB. If you're looking for more MLB coverage, get yourself excited for the season here. We have 2 MLB betting guides as well as full MLB coverage every single day from our team of writers and analysts. So easiest thing you can do, sign up for the VSiN newsletter, vsin.com/newsletter. Get those great breakdowns sent to your inbox every single day. You can also become a VSiN Pro member, vsin.com/subscribe. Get all the best bets, live stream of all the VSiN shows, all the great DraftKings percentages, all the articles behind the paywall. And also, of course, make sure you follow us on Twitter at VSiN Live. You can follow me at Josh_insights. But I wish you the best of luck. Have a fantastic Thursday. Enjoy the return of MLB. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Let's go. Have a great day, everyone. Good luck.